Well, it's great to speak to you both. This series is so much fun. There's so clearly so much love put into it. Steve, my first question is for you. We've seen these characters pop up in a few different places before, right? In the comics, in Doom Patrol. What was your approach to taking them and putting them in the spotlight in their own series?
I felt like it was really important. Oh, because I wrote the Doom Patrol episode too. I think it was important to showcase the agency, but also to make sure that the boys' backstories stayed intact so they would still be recognizable. I mean, we unfortunately, just because of the realities of storytelling, we had to age them up a bit from what they are in the comic. Especially, you've seen the season, you know it gets quite dark. For me, it was about personal fidelity. I know Beth was really focused on the friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Like, Beth, how did you explore their friendship?
I was like,
I
know I did see that, but I thought maybe there was another question. Yes, I think that actually it's funny when you ask that question, when you're like, why do you think they deserve their own spotlight? I was like, they deserve this spotlight. I was like, they've been waiting their whole lives for this. No, I think their friendship is the core, is the core of the show. And it's kind of this beautiful relationship that they get to explore even after, after their deaths, which is what I hope happens to everyone after, I have this like beautiful, amazing friendship, and there's so much heart to them. And I think that's what you're really, besides all the fun, fantastical, crazy creatures, I think the friendship is what everyone is going to be rooting for.
I mean, you're really like, you're getting to watch growing up and learning that the world is not a fair place and the realities of life through two boys who have been dead for a long time. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how did you both explore the complexities in their relationship too, right? Because we learned throughout the season that it's not so straightforward. So how did you approach that aspect to their story?
I mean, honestly, like Edwin's journey through the first season is kind of learning that he is so much more than he's ever let himself be in a lot of different ways. And certainly in terms of his sexuality, that was very important to us. So getting to explore those facets, I think, was important. But we knew we were going to do it from the beginning. And so we get to, he's learning who he is along with us. And that's a lot easier than like he's hiding something or he's trying to bury something, or it's just pieces of the world he's never known before suddenly giving him permission to be himself.
And that was just taking them out of their comfort zone, into this town, meeting all these characters, having Crystal be part of their agency to kind of shake things up. So that was, that was fun to explore with them in season 1.
And I think for Charles, it was very important to us. Look, he's a character who tries to be positive and upbeat for everybody else to make them feel comfortable. Where does that behavior come from? And so when we find out that he has this sort of darker backstory that he's still in death working to reconcile, that's just catnip as a storyteller.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one other thing that I love about the show is that, obviously Edwin and Charles's friendship is, at the center of it, but we've got these other great characters too, right? We've got Crystal and Nico and Jenny. We'll start with Beth. How did you develop those characters and their relationships? Because it's such a cool ensemble cast.
Yeah, it was already, Steve had developed the pilot, so he had already developed those characters when I came on board. And I feel like what was so fun for me coming onto the project is you have this group of all these teenagers who are so different from each other, from different backgrounds. Some are alive, some aren't. And then you have Jenny, who's like this kind of, who is a curmudgeon. Steve identifies as Jenny, self-identifies as her. But she's kind of like got roped into this kind of madness, and she's our adult point of view, which is funny because she has such a specific point of view. And so I think just together, the chemistry between all these characters and all the things that they're doing and trying to solve these crazy cases is just so much fun for us to play with, and hopefully for everyone to watch.
Yeah, Steve, how about you? What was your approach to their relationships?
Uh, it was just important to me that it was multifaceted, and you've got two boys who have been together for, over 30 years, kind of isolated. And so if you're going to introduce new characters, they have to be bringing just the most left field perspectives. And so that's what Crystal does. That's definitely what Nico does. And then I think Jenny's almost like running commentary. I would say that Jenny is like the Waldorf and Statler of our show, from the Muppets, the two old men in the balcony. But we actually have a Waldorf and Statler, the Dandelion Sprites, who actually comment on everything with foul mouths.
She's kind of Jenny's our very grounded character that, like, if she's the outside perspective to be like, whoa, what the hell is going on?
But she also gives like you have the adult in the show that's supposed to be like the older brother or older sister character that gives advice.
Yeah.
Jenny's advice comes from the most cynical, dark. I mean, when she says to Crystal, like, everyone's only thinking of themselves all the time. So if you get one good minute, you're lucky. Like, that's what she really, that's how she looks at the world. But she's fun to write for.
Yeah, well, she's a very fun. I feel like we all have a little Jenny in us, you know. Well, thank you so much for your time and congrats on the show. It's a delight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.